Hi guys, on Thursday night, Question Time had a panel of guests which included this guy. His name is Luke Johnson. He's the chairman of Gail's Bakery. Now, unfortunately, the host didn't explain that Luke here is a friend or a supporter of Nigel Farage, that he was anti-lockdown, that he's anti-net zero, and of course that he's a Brexiteer. But don't worry, he has some advice for the Labour government. Have a listen.
Yeah, it's very depressing, isn't it, Emma? And I'm afraid this was a budget for people who receive welfare and benefits and not for working people, which I thought the Labour Party was for.
Okay, before we continue, about 40% of people on universal credit are working. So there isn't this differentiation between people on benefits and people who are working.
The truth is they've increased taxes, they are increasing debt, they're increasing unemployment, and things feel pretty bleak. I cannot remember a time in 40 years in business in this country where investors and entrepreneurs and employers are as demoralised as they are.
Before we continue again, business confidence is higher than it was when it was under the Conservatives. That's just another fact.
And the idea that this government, they said their priority was growth. There is no growth. There's only spending and more borrowing and higher taxes and higher regulation. And this will not have a good ending. It's not how prosperous and happy societies become that way. And the government needs to think a lot harder about spending our taxpayer money wisely and not disproportionately burdening us with tax and regulation and gloom.
What would you like to have seen?
I would have liked to have seen, for example, a wholesale rethink of our disastrous energy policies. We have the highest energy costs for business of any comparable country. Net zero is destroying our manufacturing industry. And without a manufacturing industry, we can never defend ourselves because we'll have no defence industry.
Okay, so a few things to say here. First of all, Nigel Farage is a supporter of Margaret Thatcher. And it was Margaret Thatcher that destroyed the industries, not net zero. Net zero would actually help bring down energy prices, because net zero is about focusing more on renewables, moving away from oil and gas. The reason energy prices are so high in the UK compared to other European countries is because the price of energy is coupled to the price of gas. So if gas prices are going up, then the energy price goes up. But there's also another problem. The infrastructure. The infrastructure has not been invested in. So you need to invest in the infrastructure, upgrade it, to improve the situation, which will bring down energy prices. But net zero is about moving to renewables, which are cheaper than gas. The reason why energy prices are so high anyway is because of the price of gas. Because even if you're producing a lot of energy with renewables, you still have to rely on gas, and the price of gas is coupled to all energy prices. Or all energy prices are coupled to gas. That's the problem. So it's infrastructure and gas prices. If you're able to deal with those issues, then you're going to have cheaper energy. But I've also mentioned before, net zero includes insulating homes. That would bring down energy prices as well for people. So net zero is not the problem. It's gas prices and a lack of investment in infrastructure. But this guy is a Brexiteer and he's complaining about a lack of manufacturing. What do you think Brexit did to manufacturing? It made it more difficult for businesses to get access to the materials they need to produce stuff, and it made it more difficult for them to export the finished goods. It also made it more difficult for businesses to access the workers they needed. And your friend Nigel Farage wants to make it more difficult. He doesn't want to have a good relationship with Europe. He's definitely against reintroducing freedom of movement, which would actually help businesses. No, all you're doing is you're complaining about the Labour government, blaming net zero for a lack of manufacturing. There's been a lack of manufacturing for decades. This guy needs to give his head a wobble. He needs to actually sit down and think, why is there a lack of manufacturing? Is it really down to net zero, or is it down to policies that go back to the 1980s, long before net zero? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.